We are live. Oh man, Alexis,
What's up?
you've ever been on the internet in front of a bunch of people before?
Uh, I hope not. Not that I know of.
Dang. Well, good news is there's nobody watching right now, but
Oh,
um, we obviously have dived into the hard money lending scene. Alexis was brought on to help us with that. Tell them a little bit about your background. What'd you do before you came to work for a good old GBT investment?
well, I did a lot of stuff in the restaurant business. I worked in a pharmacy for a little while. Was working in a bank. Learned lots of cool stuff about lending through my bank experience, and now I'm working here. Got a really awesome opportunity with you guys.
Well, we
Pretty
appreciate
exciting.
it. And you're social distancing. You're at home on your back
I
porch today,
am.
and
Yep.
I guess you interviewed right before they locked us down because you were hired and in the office, I think, for every bit of a week. And
3 days.
yeah, and then they locked down. Did you think you were going to get laid off?
I really did, honestly. I really did. I told my parents, I was like, I am the first person they're gonna fire if they gotta fire people. I'm scared.
Well, we've been fortunate, haven't had to lay anybody off, so
Right.
it's worked out. I think we've actually probably hired people. I don't really know, not keeping track. But one thing's for certain: we didn't know how to do hard money loans when we started, and now we've closed two loans with the same borrower, and we're going to close our third loan this week. So that's exciting. And Jet has asked us. We've got our email rolling along the bottom of the screen for those of y'all that are joining us. We can lend anywhere in the state of Texas. I like to say that because, Eddie kind of, whenever we talked about this, I told him that I wanted to go out into some of these markets that no other people could lend in, and we kind of made a deal with him that if we went out and went to bat for y'all and y'all couldn't hang on to the property, that we would step in and help with management or whatever needed to take place. So, Alexis, a lot of people, whenever I come out and say this, they want to know what our terms and points are. And I always am a smart ass. I'm not the best at selling it. I'm like, if somebody wants to borrow money in I don't know, Gorman, Texas, and it's like, they're like, I want 10% interest. That's obviously Gorman, Texas is a shithole. I'm probably one of the only people on this stream that's ever been there. And we're not going to give you cheap money in Gorman. We're going to charge the shit out of you because you ain't got no other lender in Gorman. And if that property doesn't work out, you know who's going to own that? GBT Investments. We're going to have to buy that as a rental property. So when we underwrite that deal, it's going to be a lot different than, say, a deal in Arlington, like the one we closed for Michelle. So kind of break down what the points are, what the range of points are, the origination points versus the monthly interest rates of what Jet provides.
So Jet's really cool. They've actually got a great team over there that is, since they're doing hard money lending, they don't have to be set in their rates. If you've got a good deal and it's going to be a good deal, we can work with you a little bit. Our rates aren't set into any certain percentage. Of course, they have a high and a low of anywhere from, say, 9% to 12%, 13%, and our points range anywhere from 2% to 4 or 5%. It just depends on your deal. You always have to assess the deals for the risk, and the points are.
What's the max rate? I want to know what the max rate is so I can quote that the next time somebody wants to borrow money in Gorman, Texas. What is it, like 14%?
The highest I've seen is like 12, 13%. I mean, like, I haven't seen very many 13% here lately, but I mean, the highest I've seen it go is 12%.
Dang. Well,
Yeah.
that's the highest you're charging. That's not the highest it can go. I don't want anybody
No,
to
definitely
think
not.
that we can't charge 14% because I'm going to find a way. I'm going to go to Eddie and be like, I'm shopping 14% money, but the lower end,
Right.
the lower end money, if you want a lower interest rate, you need to bring a deal that's at 40-50% of ARV. You don't need to bring one that's at 85% ARV and then say, hey man, I need a good interest rate. So don't come shop us like that. Now on points, on the origination points from 2 to 5%, I didn't know 5 was a number, but if that is, how do they work that origination fee down? I know that once we did a few loans at the beginning, after we did a few, the origination points came down. How does that work? I mean, they kind of leave it up to us to do, but obviously it's on the deal. But the borrower, if they're doing multiple deals a month with us, we're obviously going to give them a break. Is that right or wrong?
That, and of course they're going to look at your liquid assets, any kind of what do you have reserved money. They want to see what your worth is, and if you've got decent money in the bank and you've got this really badass property that's going to cost you like half of what it's going to be once you fix it up, I mean, you're going to be looking at pretty good points and pretty good interest rates. I mean, like I said, it's just every deal is different. You have to assess that risk for each person and each house, so the longer you do business with us, the more we know you, the more we see your work and we see what you can bring to the table. So if you can bring some good stuff to the table and we see that you're a good customer with us, we're going to, of course, keep doing business with you. We want to help you out and make you, some better deals.
Cash reserves is one of the things that Jet asked for. I think it's Eddie Gant has been in this business for a long time. And, I mean, when this stuff hit, I messaged Eddie on Facebook and because we had just agreed to come on and be a broker of Jet's money. As soon as this hit, I was like, hey, is Jet still lending money? And he said, absolutely, we're still lending money. We loaned through the last crash. We're going to keep loaning through this one. Nothing's going to change, but we do require a little bit more cash reserve. Are you going to your car? No,
yeah.
Just like walking around. So anyways, he said we're going to keep loaning, but they did up the cash reserve. So cash reserves, as I understand it, is you've got to have, so if you put a $30,000 rehab or you're asking Jet to loan you $30,000 for the rehab, they want to see a third of that $30,000 in the bank. So you got to have at least $10,000.
Right.
Also, they used to require 6 months worth of payments as reserves, correct? But now it's 9 months. Is that right? Or wrong?
I believe it's 9 months. They'll want to see 6 months plus. Right now, it's an additional 3 interest payments. So
you got to have at least. So if your payment's going to be $1,000 a month, you got to have $9,000. And then if your rehab budget is $30,000, you got to have an additional 10. So that's $19,000 in cash reserves. I think that's a genius move on Jet's part because that kind of qualifies whoever's going to borrow money. If you've got money in the bank, you're obviously going to be more lendable. If you're coming to any lender and saying, look, I don't have any money in the bank, I don't have anything, and I'm trying to borrow this money, typically the answer would be no anyways. Jet looking into that and asking for that is a genius move on their part. Now, you do have a loan estimate sheet as far as extra fees and stuff like that goes.
Right.
You can bring it up on the screen, kind of swap over to it, and I'll bring your screen up. That loan estimate goes into the fees, and we were just sitting at breakfast going over that. Some of the things that are on there, need some explanation, and I'll try to explain it best I can, which she just left the entire stream. She'll be back though. But essentially you've got all the same loan origination fees. When Jet loans, they loan off 70% of ARV, and you have to order an appraisal up front. So you come to us, we pull all the comps. We say, hey, this is what we think we can loan. Do you want to pay for an appraisal? When you agree to pay for an appraisal, we order the appraisal. At that moment, the appraisal comes back. We will loan up to 70% of ARV at that moment. It's all right. Where'd you go?
I guess I exited out of Chrome trying to pull it up.
So whenever we got somebody already messaging us right now. I'm in need of hard money. How do I apply? So when you do that, you order the appraisal. They'll get rehabbed appraisal on it, an appraisal as if it's rehab, and they'll loan up to 70%, including rehab, including everything. But you have to bring some extra money, some extra fees. Alexis has that sheet that she might be able to pull up now. If she'll share it with us. Do what?
But I got it now.
It's not on my screen. I don't see it.
It's right here. I got it.
You got to hit share your screen.
Oh, man. I missed a step. There we go.
There it is.
Got it. Entire screen share. There we go.
All right. So there we are.
Yep.
I'm gonna make it the whole screen so people can see. Ooh, man. You have
Let
can
me
you
minimize
maximize that? Just maximize that one.
There we go.
So there it is. Here we are.
There it is. That's our master loan estimate. This is just a really great calculator to see like real-time numbers of what any of the loans would look like with us doing, fix and flip loans or, fix and hold loans.
So put it in there. Put us a purchase price in there. Throw us a purchase price in. So right, I'm going to be buying it for $60,000.
All right.
Estimated ARV is 110.
And what about the repair budget? How much is it going to cost?
I got a $15,000 repair budget.
Sounds good. And what do you think those taxes estimate at?
$3,000.
All right. So everything populated. But what we're going to do is I got to take this $15,000 here, and I'm going to hold that in the repair escrow for those repairs.
Okay.
So that $15,000 will go down here, and that'll take your total loan to $77,000, and your actual funded at closing would be your loan to value, which is the $77,000 minus those repairs, because we're holding those in escrow. We're taking those out and putting them into a separate escrow account to do draws later once you've got some work done. So your funded loan at closing would be $62,000. That gives you your whole purchase price here. That gives you an extra $2,000 for these closing costs right down here, which is just all your fees. They're all laid out right here in front for you.
What are the fees?
Sure you see them.
You got an origination fee. What is that?
Right. That's our 3% of your total loan right here. That's your points. That's your 3% of the $77,000. So we've got Jet has a minimum origination fee of $2,500. So if if you're doing less than 100, you're looking at probably around $2,500 because it's the minimum. And then we've got like our document fees. That's just for your deeds and things that we've got to get. Processing fees. That's just a set fee from Jet Lending. I mean, it's pretty basic stuff. You got to order credit reports. You got to order flood certs. You got to keep the lights on at the business. I mean, that's your processing fee there. We've got just an estimate here of the title fees. They include that in there. It's just 1.5 of the total loan. And then should we have to have those additional 3 months reserves? I'm going to add those in right down here. So I'm going to have your 3 months of additional reserves with the 6 months that they got to see down here. Any other fees that they would need, like the appraisal fee, any other like broker fees. If you're using a broker to find this deal and you got to pay them, we can put their fees right here. So we can pretty much lay out all the fees. And this is where all your closing costs and funds to see in your reserves are going to be at down here.
So I would have to bring $5,800 to closing to close this loan.
That's right. $5,850 is going to be your funds brought to closing out of your pocket at closing.
And that is going to include 3 months worth of payment. So I won't have to make a payment for 3 months, correct?
You're right.
So I'm having to bring money to the table to close this with the bullshit example that I gave. But I don't have to make payments for 3 months. Now, this is where I think for a lot of people, we were talking about it. There's, another lender calls them junk fees or hidden fees or stuff like that. One of the things we seen on the HUD earlier, whenever we were looking at the deal that we'd already closed, was the population of the escrow account, which I don't see on here. But But essentially, if you scroll back up on this page where we put in the property taxes, depending on when you're closing the deal, you will have to fund the escrow account for the taxes. It doesn't show up on this, and that's kind of a deal that could catch people off guard, that we will have to remember to tell them about up front. So, if you're closing a deal in June and the property taxes are $3,000 for the year, there's going to be an additional $1,500 that's going to have to go into the escrow account for the taxes. The cool thing about this is, like on a wholesale deal, these $3,000 of interest payments and reserve, and the money that you pay for insurance and the money that you pay to populate the escrow account would come back to you when you sell the property. If you sell it within the first 3 months, you're going to get a portion of those monthly payments back, and you're going to get your escrow account, for the whatever's left over for the taxes. You're going to get back because it's going to be credited on the sale, and you're also going to get back whatever portion of that insurance that you didn't use. So if you paid for a year's worth of insurance and you were only on the property for a month, then you're going to get back that. So there's other money that you'll get back at closing. So it shows up as a cost in your mind, but in reality, if you turn the property really quick, you're going to get that back. I know on Michelle's deal, she bought that property and had it sold within a month. So she got, she had paid $2,800 for insurance. She had to put $3,800 for the 3 months payments. She got all of that back. You can come down to the bottom and see what these fees are. So she had to bring $3,100 to close that deal. Right there. And then if you come down a little bit further, you can see Jet's fees here, here. And the only one, tax reserve. Back up so we can see all the fees. So you can see them right here. You can see the origination and all that, which is all on the sheet. But the tax reserves is the one part of the process that a lot of people don't know. Typically, when you're buying a property, it's getting credited to you on the purchase price anyways. It wasn't on this deal. I don't know if she had made a deal with the seller that he didn't have to pay any of the prorated taxes, but that tax reserves is something that's rolled into the loan that essentially it populates the escrow account. That's all that does, and that's the one fee that isn't on that sheet. So it's calculated monthly in the sheet, on the estimate sheet. Yes, but you have to populate that escrow account. So I mean, that's it. That and then on the estimate on this particular one, you can see what all the closing costs are, but that's really it. So what do you think about it, Alexis? You ready to make some loans?
Oh yeah, man. It's so easy. I mean, you got everything laid out for you here. I mean, if you need any of this stuff explained to you, it's super simple. Jet's a really great company to be doing business with. I mean, they want to make sure that their money is secure, your money is secured. You're going to get these properties and you're going to make money.
So the one thing that is, at least in the process, if you want to borrow the money, if you need to borrow money, first thing that I told Alexis to ask is, do you have X number of dollars in cash reserves, which we can help you figure out once you tell us what you're buying it for and all of that. The second decision you'll have to make, which was a hard one for Austin, was, do you want to pay for an appraisal? Like, we're going to loan off of the appraised value, not off of we have to order an appraisal. I think any lender that you're going to work with during Rona season is going to, right now there's not a lot of lenders that are loaning. So just to have an opportunity to be able to help people move deals during Rona is awesome for us. But at the same time, if you're not willing to pay for an appraisal, how much could you actually believe in the deal? That's the way I feel about it. Like, if you want to buy it, $450 for an appraisal to protect yourself, protect Jet, to protect everybody involved in the deal is easy money, because Austin's deal, Austin's going to make like probably 40 grand, 50 grand. And I was like, bro, it's a $450 appraisal to make 50 grand. How are you even thinking about this? You know what I mean? And then he's wanting to go into the fees and stuff. I'm like, the opportunity cost of not doing the deal is way more expensive than any point you would pay or anything else. I know that we start everybody out at 3 points. That's just been where we've been as long as the deal is in a normal area. If it's out in the middle of nowhere, just be ready. You gotta negotiate the price down. You've got to get that thing for 30, 40 cents on the dollar for it to make sense for anybody to loan on it. So don't be worried whenever you got to pay these points. But you said Jet has a minimum point amount of a minimum origination fee of $2,500, correct?
Yes, minimum origination fee is $2,500. So the percent ultimately, it can't get much lower than that.
Well, I'm dividing 50,000 because there's a lot of people with $50,000 deals. So that's 5 points on a $50,000 loan. I know whenever I was in the market for hard money and always looking, the two things I could never find anybody to loan in like Stephenville, Texas. Well, I can tell you right now, we'll do it. The other thing is nobody would do a loan for less than 50,000. Do you know if we can do a loan for less than 50,000? It seems if they've got a minimum fee of 2,500, that would be a great question that we need to figure out the answer to. But do you know it off the top of your head if we can do one less than 50,000?
As far as I know, we can do them. I mean, if that ARV is there, we can do it for as long as it's 70% of that after repaired value. We can do it. I mean, I can show you the numbers right here. I mean, I could do it for you right here. You got a $50,000.
Well, the reason why I'm asking is because a lot of lenders don't want to waste time. But I think with Jet's minimum fee of $2,500 for origination, them doing a loan of 50,000 or less just puts more money in their pocket. Because if nobody else will do it, and we're the only ones that will step out there and take that risk, I feel like the opportunity cost is there. But to be honest, if people don't believe in their deal enough to order an appraisal or pay points origination, if you think you have a deal and 1 point breaks that deal, it ain't a deal. You catching what I'm saying? Like if you think you got a deal and nobody else will loan on it, and you're looking at an origination fee and you're trying to save 1%, you obviously don't believe in the deal. I've never considered those costs. We've paid exorbitant amounts of money to get deals done in the middle of nowhere because we knew that we were going to make a bunch of money on it. But nobody would loan out there. Well, nobody would loan out there. We had to pay 15% interest and stuff like that on the loans that we would get to be able to do the deal. I feel like Jet providing an opportunity for you to go out into an area where there's less competition is worth the money because you can get those properties at a way steeper discount.
Oh yeah.
At least that's my experience.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I mean,
go ahead.
If you can make that property, I mean, you get that property up to a really good ARV, I mean, you're going to get that funding no matter what. If it's a good deal, we can handle it.
So what's your number, Alexis? How do people get in touch with you?
So I have my cell phone, but we also have our Jet lending number. I actually don't have it on me. I just have it written down.
Dang. Is the Jet lending number a .com number?
Yeah.
It's so we can text people. Yeah. So
it's like 272. I gotta find it. 0727. So I should have been more prepared. Look at me.
I know. Well, you didn't know I was going to make you put your phone number on the internet. I normally wouldn't do it to you because I know how these savages in roughneck real estate can be. They'll start sending you weird pics.
Yeah, please don't. Other people can see them too on LiveCom, so don't try it.
I'll never be able to see the pictures. That's the one sad thing about LiveCom is we don't get the pictures that random creepers send Whitley anymore. Alexis, you've never heard the stories about it. We'll have to go over it off camera. Whitley has gotten some funny ass pictures trying to lease stuff.
I heard.
It was great. It was great. That was the best day. Best day in the office ever was the day. I know we're gonna send this to Jet, so I'm not gonna tell the story, but it was so much fun. I was like, yes, finally.
I've seen a bunch of really weird text messages, so
Oh, well, this wife
I
had
don't even
caught
want to know.
this wife had caught her husband cheating and couldn't pay her rent and sent the evidence of the cheating. And we were like,
Yes.
yes, but it wasn't what you thought. It was crazier than that. So
Oh
I have
no.
to do a story time sometime. I have to interview Whitley because it
Yes.
was crazy. So, anyways, what's your number? How do they get a loan from you?
Okay, I mean, of course, you see the emails right down there, r2r@jetlending.com. That's like the easiest way to reach me because I've got my email on my phone. But this number also comes to me. It's 254-279-0727, and that's just our live com number for our jet. And so I'll get the calls and the messages from there and the emails.
Dude, that's so awesome. And then you don't have to give out your cell phone number on the internets.
Love it.
So the creepers won't be able to do the creepy stuff. So
I
Alexis,
don't need no creepers.
don't need no creepers. I appreciate you jumping on. Your back flip looks lovely. We got really lucky. The guy on the 4-wheeler, he quit. He quit riding around.
I hope he's gone now.
My tractor's actually over there at that feed store, so I got to go over there and get it so I can do some work later. But anyways,
I've seen it a couple of times.
yeah, I had a flat the other day when I was filling in a pond for Brennan and them, and anyways, so I didn't even know it, and then I put it on the trailer. I was like, damn, I got a flat. But I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
And we'll hold on. I forgot to bring up the comments. You remember?
Oh
Possible.
That's your fault.
Hard money loan. How can I apply? Jet Lending.
Jet Lending. Email me. I'll send you an application.
The email below. Just email it, and we'll get you hooked up if we can help you out. We will. Again, this is only state of Texas right now. I know that pre-Rona, Jet had some partners that we could work with out of state. Some of them have shut down.
Yeah. But they're coming back in. They're starting to get some more word on some other deals. They haven't given us a go-ahead yet for any other states or any other terms and that kind of stuff yet. But they're working on it. They're always working on it. As soon as we can get into other states and get different, terms that we can offer to people, 30-year, 5-year, 2-year, whatever it is, they're trying. They're getting stuff moving. They want to get those back.
And we will have a 30-year product, investor product for rentals that they'll be rolling out in the near future. We'll learn about it. We'll learn how to underwrite it on Monday. So that will be coming available too. As soon as we have more information about that, I'll come back on. I'll do a live. We'll get that information out to the people so you can work with us. If you're in an area, if you're in a different area in Texas, and you require somebody closer, like in Houston or Dallas or San Antonio, we got people all over the place that can help you out. So we'll get you in touch with them. We appreciate y'all's time. We appreciate everything else. I'm about to be live on several other deals. I'm going to be breaking down a land deal. I'm basically going to be in here all day. So I'll see y'all on other lives for the rest of the day. Appreciate it, Alexis, and we'll talk to them later.
All right, thanks.